All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, parents, students, welcome to New Albany High School. There are quite a few familiar faces in here. Look, and I'm Matt Buchanan, I'm the principal here at the high school. It is my great honor and privilege to welcome you. First off, to students that are here, welcome class of 2027. So I know that comes with a lot of uncertainty, some excitement, a little bit of fear maybe. We're going to cover a lot of information tonight, but there's no way we can cover everything that you're going to need to know in the next 4 years in 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour tonight. So like I said, we're going to cover a lot of stuff. Please, though, do ask us a question. There are two counselors here, Mr. Park Langley, probably still in the back, Miss Morgan Tatum up here. They're phenomenal counselors. Miss Hobson, our career and technical director, is over here to my left. Really great at everything that she does also. You know, like I said, please take notes. Please let us know what you need. I am going to introduce a couple of people. Once I get finished, I'm going to hand the mic over to Ms. Hobson. She's got a little bit of career and technical education wise. Most of that, students and parents, we do have some ninth graders that do take career and tech courses. That some of it will be paused just a little bit for your 10th grade year. And that's where you can get really specialized with what you want to do for the rest of your life through our CTE courses. Colonel McDonald is over our ROTC program. He's going to speak a little bit. Miss Penelope Blisson is here joining us from the Union County Heritage Museum. She's going to speak a little bit, and then we're going to turn it over to our counselors, and they're really the stars of the show for this evening. So again, welcome. Let's make really great things happen over the next 4 years. And we can't wait to see you all back in August. Ms. Hobson.
Welcome, everyone. Like Dr. Buchanan said, I'm April Hobson. I know most of you remember me as Miss April at the elementary. So I'm so excited to see so many familiar faces back again, and I can't wait to see you all for this upcoming school year as you come up to us as ninth graders. For those of you who do not know me, I am now the director of our Career and Technical Center. Like Dr. Buchanan said, some career and technical classes will be available to you as ninth graders. And actually, you guys will have more opportunities than any other class before you. And so much of that is due to Mr. Paul Henry at the middle school, making sure that you guys have more opportunities to earn credits before you are leaving the middle school. So I know over the past several weeks, our career and technical teachers have come to Mr. Jackson's class and talked to you all about our programs. We have 3 more teachers coming tomorrow to talk to you again. And also you all have come over for the tour. If you are interested in a career and technical class next year, please put it on your schedule. But if for some reason, keep in mind, our 10th and 11th and 12th graders get first choice at classes. So if for some reason your ninth grade year, the career and technical class that you want to take doesn't fit into your schedule, or that class is not available because the upperclassmen have all the spots, do not get discouraged. Please put those classes on your schedule again as you become a 10th grader. I will be here after the presentation if anyone has any questions. And again, we are so excited to have you guys as ninth graders here at New Albany High School. You all are going to have a great year next year. At this time, I'm going to hand the mic over to Sergeant McDonald.
Good evening, everyone. Again, I'm Colonel McDonald. I'm here to kind of encourage you guys as parents to have your kids get interested in joining ROTC. I spent about 25 years in the military. Again, I'm retired now. I also work with Sergeant Payne. He spent about 21 years in the military. A bit about the ROTC program. It is a structured program. Again, we're not here to recruit you guys for the military. We're not recruiters, okay? We are teachers. And again, what is it built around? We're trying to develop your kids to be leaders in the community. We require the kids to be, we require the kids to do community service. We would like the kids to do at least 12 hours community service each semester. We get involved in the community. As you see, we do the flag at the football games. We get involved in Veterans Day. So anything you guys want us to do, we'll come out and do it for you. It's a cadet run program. The cadets are responsible for planning everything in the program itself. Me and Sergeant Payne are just making sure whatever they're doing it the correct way. It builds leadership, it builds structure, they work on time management. Again, we're there to make sure they are doing things the correct way. Also, the Air Force is really pushing the STEM programs right now. In a few minutes, I'm bringing the kids up, they're going to demonstrate some of the things that we actually do in ROTC. We got rifle teams, we got drone teams, robotics teams, we got radar teams. We're doing, what I didn't say, drones. Again, be up in a few minutes to actually tell you about what we do. Again, in the process of them guys doing these programs, they're learning STEM. They're learning about engineering. They're actually responsible for putting all these projects together. So we go through a process in class of teaching them about robotics, teaching them about drones. So a lot of these things, this is the future. As you know, even Amazon, FedEx, all these guys are going to drones, going to robotics. So these are the skills your kids are going to need in the future. And right now in ROTC, Air Force pays for all this stuff. It pays for the drones, it pays for the robots. Again, in a few minutes, they'll come up and demonstrate some of the stuff that the Air Force has given to us for the kids to put together. So it's a very, very exciting program. And again, I got to emphasize, we're not here to put your kids in the military. We don't care to go in the military or not. Very few people from ROTC go in the military. But what they do get from the program, a lot of kids build leadership. They come in the program, a lot of kids are very shy. They don't say anything. About a year from now, they're very outspoken. We put them in charge of something. We tell them, hey, go out and plan military ball. So they put a committee together. They're responsible for putting all this stuff together. We go on trips. They're responsible for planning the trips. And we do go on a lot of trips. But think about these trips, they ain't even STEM-related trips. So we go on trips, we're responsible for going to places that, say we're going down to Biloxi, we're going to Stennis, the naval place down in Biloxi, we're going over to New Orleans to the history museum over there. So everywhere we go, it's an education. We're not going just to have fun. We're going to educate these kids about things they're not really exposed to, never been exposed to. I'm from Mississippi. I grew up in the country. Until I joined the military, a lot of stuff I never saw in my life. So I'm a retired cyber guy. So I did it for almost 25 years. So joining the military, the best decision I've made in my life. But again, we're not here to tell these kids that, but we are here to encourage them to get involved, to educate themselves. It's all about education. All this is about education, not just have fun. A lot of people get in just to go on trips. You're not going on trips, you're not going to supposed to. You gotta wear that uniform once a week. You gotta cut that hair, put that uniform on. You gotta be respectful in that uniform. Even if you go out to Walmart, don't go out there playing around in your uniform. The kids will let you know. Me and Sergeant Payne, we don't allow that. You're gonna be respectful. You're gonna respect this uniform when you wear it. So that is what we're here for. You know, so again, I'm gonna keep going. So first I'm gonna have Joseph. He'll come up and talk a little bit about the rifle team and the drill team.
So, good Milligan. I've been in ROTC for 3 years. I'm a junior now, but let me tell you about rifle team. Now, personally, I'm not part of the rifle team. This is like marksmanship. They won't have these. They'll have airsoft guns, and they'll just shoot them for competitions. Hopefully, having some competitions.
April 1st.
April 1st, yes. And it's also stuff like drill. Drill, we'll actually use these rifles and competitions. We went to Clarksdale, and we had our first competition there in a few years. We placed pretty well in there actually, but yeah, it was after school practices, so find somewhere to go. After school is pretty fun. I've had a lot of fun in this, but I'm also in charge of radar team. which Raider teams like physical fitness, doing competitions, working out, playing as a team and, doing stuff like that. To me, it's really fun and, most other people do find it fun as well. But, yeah, RTC is really, really fun. But it is serious in some senses, like wearing uniform and stuff.
Next we have, Soto come up here to demonstrate the drones. On these drones, we actually put a competition down in South Monroe a few weeks ago. We actually won our first trophy, with the drones. The red drone is actually a drone that the Air Force, actually gave to us. It was 5 of those.
Yes, sir.
And the thing was about $2,000 a piece. We put them together in class. They're programming the drones, and that red drone is pretty sweet, but he could demonstrate the smaller drone.
These are the drones you'll be using for competition. You can use the remote or in the competition, you can also. There's a part in the competition where you can code. Like, all you do is use a computer, it's block coding, pretty simple. And these, they didn't come like this. We had to build them. You also wear goggles that you look through this camera. And you can also flip it. And you use this remote, which is pretty cool. It talks. There's a lot of settings to it. Can I follow?
Again, this drones competition, it's a big competition out in Dallas. There's kids from all over the world. And come to this competition and have to participate in these drone competitions. Of course, they got to go through, and they have teams that they compete against. It's pretty fun and very educational. All right, thank you. Next, we'll have Danny come up and show you a robot that we're putting together. Again, this robot was purchased by the Air Force and sent to us. We're in the process of putting this robot together. So it's pretty kind of basic right now.
Hello, I'm Cadet Rope from JROTC. I have been in it 3 years, and personally, those 3 years have actually been very good 3 years. Like Colonel said, it teaches you leadership, STEM skills in class, and it gives you an opportunity to open your eyes to what you want to be in the future. This is a VEX robot. I don't know if in the middle school you guys do VEX robots or engineering. I heard something about a robotics class in there, but I'm not too sure. With the VEX robots, we will be using block coding, and then later on in the years, you will learn Python. Me personally, I'm not in the robotics, but I do take engineering, so I do know a little bit of it. However, for our robotics, we do, it's an after-school program. You can do it in class. Most blocks will do it. You'll learn about it. Colonel will give you information on it. You will build it hands-on. You'll get in groups, which is very fun because when you're in your groups, it gives you a chance to work on communication skills and working together skills, which is a very good thing. And for after school, it will be most days. It's on a Wednesday, which will last from 3:30 to 5 o'clock. So if you're interested, if you want to join ROTC, that is a wonderful chance for you to get out, learn people, and to open your eyes to new capabilities in the future.
Again, those are some of the we call them leadership development courses we have in our program. We have several of them. We have Cyber Patriot. We're not doing Cyber Patriot. It's kind of a one of them. We go and they put a worm or a bug up in the computer. You got to go in and figure it out. So we do that. That's some of the stuff I did when I was in the military. So a lot of this stuff is very interesting. Also in class, we have a structured class where we teach courses. I teach about space. We teach a history course. Sergeant Payne teach a leadership course. So we do have classes that we have to take. And we take tests and stuff. So it is very structured. And you learn time management. You learn structure. you gotta understand how, when you got to the real world, how you should act, and you put your much further ahead of everybody else. So, thank you for your time. Again, if you want to, join our RTC. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Penelope Gleason, and I am here tonight representing the Union County Heritage Museum. Our director there is Jill Smith, and this is my first time actually attending a type of meeting such as this, where we're meeting with the parents and the teacher. Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, what can the museum do for us who is trying to get our child ready for the next 4 years of your life? Well, we want to be an extension to the school. You may begin scheduling your child's schedule, and you may see, well, my child needs a little extra help, assistance, tutoring. We can offer those services at the Union County Heritage Museum. I know we have the library, we have a great team. Principal Buchanan and the actual counselors here do a wonderful job assisting parents. And so we're just extending our resources to you all. We're open Tuesdays through Saturdays. We have normal hours between 9 and 5. And if there's times that we're not open and you're needing some assistance, please just give us a call. Our number is 538-0014. Please reach out. I will be bringing some cards to Ms. Tatum and to Mr. Langley, and they'll have that in their office. But I thank you so much for allowing me time to come and represent the Union County Heritage Museum, and I hope that you will come and visit us one day.
Good evening, my name is Kurt Langley, and I'll do better with the microphone. That was a test. I'm one of the counselors. I'm actually the CTE counselor, but I work really close with Miss Morgan Tatum.
Hi, I'm Morgan Tatum. I am one of the high school counselors. Mr. Langley and I basically share almost an office with one another. So even though he is the CTE counselor, you will pretty much probably see us together a lot because we work together pretty much on everything that goes on in the high school.
Okay, we're gonna kind of work backwards here a little bit, but we talked a little bit. We have been twice and had that chance to go to Coach Jackson's room and spend time with your students, and we really enjoyed it. But one of the best things I think freshmen can do, and this program's been around for several years, is come to Camp Freshman. That will be the day right before school starts where they get their schedule, they get to walk around the school, see where their classes are, and ask any questions. There'll be upperclassmen here to walk around. They'll do some team building activities. We eat well. Anybody that knows me really well, food's always gonna be part of the agenda. And we have a really good time. So we really encourage all 9th grade students to come to Camp Freshman. It's always the week before school starts. It has been as late as the day before school starts, and it has been as early about 5 days before school actually starts. But please just kind of mark that on your calendar and come to Camp Freshman, and that is the time for you to get your schedules and review those.
If you want to put this down on your piece of paper, tentatively, Camp Freshman, very tentatively, will be Friday, August 4th. Very tentatively. But like Mr. Langley said, closer to time, we will definitely put more information out. But tentatively, right now, that will be Friday, August 4th.
Okay, it was so funny when I was standing out front and somebody said, well, Mr. Langley was here when I was a student. Well, things have changed. We've gone to the block schedule. So just to kind of give you an idea about our block schedule, you see the first block in the time period. Vision is our break, and there's also lots of neat things that we do during vision. And then you see second block, 2A, 2B, third block, 3A, 3B, and fourth block. First block runs 7:14 to 9:16, so that class period lasts for that long. Second block you see runs 9:41 to 11:20. You will not be in 2A and 2B and also have a full second block. The 2A, the 2B that you see, those are classes like driver's education. Miss Debbie Rowan teaches a lot of family consumer science classes. They're half credit classes, so they're split in the block. But most of our classes, your algebra, biology, your English, your history, all are going to be a full block. They're going to last the entire time. We're going to go ahead and hit the next slide, and we actually have some sample schedules that Ms. Tatum's going to go over, and it will make more sense looking at it from the sample schedules.
Okay, so just like Mr. Langley said, we can sit up here and we can talk to you about schedules all day long, but I'm a visual person, and if I don't see it, it's really hard for me to understand. So this first one right here on this side, if you kind of go down through the top, the first two at the top is the first semester, the two at the bottom is the second semester for that student. So if you look, you see the first block class is world history, second block is computer science and engineering, third block is algebra 1. So any students right now, I know we've already done choice sheets with your children, but if a child, so this is my child's schedule, I'll just go ahead and do it. This was my child's schedule. She took CCR Math 8 in 8th grade, so she rolled right into algebra 1 this year. So if your child is in CCR Math 8, they will roll right into algebra 1 this year. And then you can see that she is in basketball girls 4th block. And then when you go over to the second semester, she has her fine art and theater, English not accelerated, and then she's in biology. One thing that we do try to do, we work really hard, because one thing we're going to get into in just a minute is freshmen have 2 state tests, and we try our very best to make sure that they are not in those state tested subjects at the same time. If you come over here to this second one, if you look at this one, you can see that the student first semester is in geometry. So that means when he came over from 8th grade, he was in algebra 1. So we went ahead and rolled that child into geometry. But if you look at 3rd and 4th block, this child is in band and football. So this is a band student and an athlete. So if you look all the way down at the very last block, you can see it says OL World History Edgenuity, something that we are offering for our students who are both in band and athletics, for them to be able to get all of their courses in that they need besides their core courses, and be able to take things such as driver's ed, which is on the student schedule, is to offer them the opportunity to take history classes online. So you can see from that child's schedule, he has a history class online. Okay, this third schedule, if you look at the bottom part, you can see the 3A and the 3B. So this child will go to psychology for 48 minutes, then switch over to health for 48 minutes for the entire second semester. This other child over here, this 4th schedule, if you look at the top, the second block class, the first 9 weeks, the child is in child development. The second 9 weeks, once we come back from in October, the second 9 weeks, the child switches to family dynamics. So I just kind of wanted you to have an understanding of what the different schedules could look like depending on what courses and what path your child is on. It's going to look very different for each and every one of them. There's no set anything. Okay, so I know I touched on this just a minute ago. We have 4 state tested subjects. That's algebra 1 and biology, English 2, and US history. Typically, algebra 1 and biology 1 are taken in 9th grade. However, if your child has taken algebra 1 when they were at the middle school, they do not have to worry about that state test as long as they passed it while they were at the middle school. All freshmen, when they come in, take biology 1. So that is a state test they will take here. English 2 or English 10, they will take that in 10th grade. They will either take it in the fall or in the spring. And then US history is 11th grade. They'll either take that in the fall or the spring. And all 4 of those they are required to pass to be able to graduate.
Tomorrow, our juniors, and everywhere in the state of Mississippi, juniors, 11th graders will be taking the ACT tomorrow. You hear a lot about the ACT, and there's lots of different reasons we use the ACT. Number one, you gotta have it to go to college. If you're going to college, you may hear that some schools have waived the ACT, but you would never want to waive the ACT because you can earn scholarship money by taking the ACT and doing well on it. It's 1 through 36 is the score range. I know Northeast starts off scholarships with a 19 on the ACT. And the University of Southern Miss, I believe, starts with a 21 on the ACT. But the higher you can get, greater chances you have of earning scholarship money. So the ACT is something our juniors are gonna get to do tomorrow at school. That's the one time they take it here at school during the school week. The rest of the time, students take it on a Saturday and you have to register online for the ACT. There's tons of help out there. There's tons of resources. Yeah, there's tons of resources and we could spend a lot of time tonight on that, but we'll go over that with students at another time. Also, if you're a junior or senior and you qualify for free or reduced lunch, you can get 2 waivers per year. So a total of 4 fee waivers that you don't have to pay for to take the ACT, which can be really, really helpful. The biggest thing that we use it for now, your students are getting ready to come into 9th grade. And then before you know it, time flies by and they're in 10th grade. Their junior year, they can start taking some dual credit courses. And several of our dual credit courses require ACT scores in a certain GPA. So it is important, and we do encourage students to start taking the ACT, their sophomore year, and we can provide more information about that at a later time. We went over CTE courses, but I'm so glad that all our CTE teachers got to go over and show y'all some things. There's a CTE course for everybody, no matter what you're into. We offer 10 courses. We have work-based learning, 10 programs. There's just a lot of fun things that go on over there. Tons of technology, lots of hands-on, and our programs are really filling up. This year, we had a lot of students come through the CTE Center. Just in our 10 skill programs, we had close to 500 students that came through the center to classes. So there's a lot of students that come take CTE classes. Okay, sometimes I talk fast. I'm gonna try to slow down just a little bit and really try to explain this really well. This is a traditional diploma option. This is the requirements to graduate high school in the state of Mississippi. So we're going to talk a lot about endorsements. Somebody came in, they said they didn't have all these endorsements when I was in school. They didn't when I was in school either, but this was simpler. As you can see at the top, it says traditional diploma option. It says English, and you got to have 4 credits in English. English 1 or English 9, English 2, which is that state test, and English 10 are the required subjects. So you've got 2 more to get after that. So it could be that you take a dual credit English comp course, or you could take English 11 your junior year. Your senior year, you could take English 12, or you could take the dual credit college level course that's taught here at the school, English comp 2. But we got to get you 4 English credits. Mathematics, it says 4 Carnegie units, and Algebra 1 is one of those. Algebra 1 is required. We're always going to encourage students to go well and above Algebra 1, but they're earning a math credit this year at the middle school. No matter what math your child's in, they're going to get 1 credit toward math this year at the middle school. Some students will come over with 2 credits. Science, there's 3 credits that are required. Biology 1 is one of those required subjects. Their 9th grade year, if they wanted to take Principles of Agriscience with Coach Anderson, they could get a science credit that way. Biology 1, every student will be in, and that's one of the required. Keep in mind, it takes you, your entire high school career to get all these subjects. Social studies, you see 3.5 credits up there. I'm gonna start at the bottom and work our way up. Mississippi studies, your students are taking now at the middle school, they're gonna come over with that credit. You see the U.S. government economics, That is our 10th grade history. So the way that works is you see there's a half, 9 weeks, just 9 weeks. They have US government. The next 9 weeks, they will have economics. The US history is our junior level history with the state test attached to it. And then there's world history that 9th graders take. You see PE, there are so many different ways to earn a PE credit. It's almost exhausting to talk about it, but I'm gonna try my best to wrap it up. If a student is in band or athletics during the school day, they get the credit that way. I know somebody said my daughter's at the softball game. I saw some students come in a tennis uniform. I saw some band students come in. You get the PE credit that way. ROTC 1 counts as a PE. Of course, you can just take regular PE and get the PE credit. Y'all are all in health this year, right? Y'all are? Okay, so you get the health credit in the middle school, you're earning that. The arts, this is one thing that some students come over to the middle school with an arts credit. You have to have just one arts credit. So it could be band, it could be chorus, it could be art, it could be theater, or it could be intro to fine arts. If I started singing, dancing, or trying to draw, y'all all would run out of here as fast as you can, I promise you. So intro to fine arts is a course that if students are not really gifted in the arts or don't enjoy it, intro to fine arts is a course that we can put them in so they can earn that arts credit. It just takes one. The college and career readiness. That is something that's a little bit new. It's not been around for a long time, but either our juniors or seniors earn that credit when they take the college and career readiness course, or they do work-based learning, which is a course where they have to earn a certain number of hours where they actually perform a job, and then they have assignments and things that they learn throughout the school year, or they can take the Impacto program. So the college and career readiness, that's the ways to earn that credit, or if they're participating in the ROTC program all 4 years, they can earn that credit. But that's something our juniors and seniors have to worry about. The technology or computer science credit, Coach Jackson's class is going to count for that. And then you see where it says 5.5 electives. Okay. So a band student that's in the band every year, a tennis player that plays tennis, a basketball player plays basketball every year. We want you to participate in those things. If it's something that you enjoy, it's something you want to do, that's awesome. So let's just pretend it's a band student. They earn the arts credit for doing band 1 year. The second year, they get the PE credit because, you know, band is hard work. Then the rest of the years, it would be electives. It would just count. So we have students all the time that graduate with 5 sciences, graduate with more maths. If it's extra, we'll just move it down to electives. We're not going to like just count any credit that you might earn. Okay. So that diploma option right there takes 24 credits. We'll go to the next one and we're going to start getting into endorsements. Okay, this will go a little bit faster with the career and technical endorsement. Everything is similar until you get to the very bottom where you see CTE and technical must complete a 4-course sequence program of study for 4 credits. So to earn this endorsement, the endorsements are just extra. They provide goals and guidelines for you to do and go a little bit above and beyond what is just required. But the 4 credits in CTE, that means you take the first year class and the second year class. Auto Mechanics 1 and Auto Mechanics 2. Culinary Arts 1, Culinary Arts 2. And then the electives drop down, but you have a total of 26 credits. So that's the credit part with the CT endorsement. Then you start getting into GPA, you have to have a 2.5 GPA, earn a silver level on the ACT work keys, which the work keys is an ACT test. It's a little bit different than when we say just the ACT. It's more common stuff that you use every day. It's more employability skills, workplace documents, applied math, and things like that. And our juniors take the work keys also. Total of 26 credits. And you have to meet one of the following: dual credit, have that word-based learning opportunity your junior or senior year, or earn a national certification. Our programs have national certification tests, which can help lead to jobs, and you can earn a national certification to meet the requirements. Any endorsement you see just goes a little bit above and beyond. And one of the questions we get right now, because seniors are getting anxious. It's almost March, right? So they're getting anxious and they're starting to worry and starting to think about life. Like, what happens if I don't meet that endorsement? And we're pulling them to the side. We're just checking to make sure you meet these diploma requirements, and can we still get that endorsement? Because the endorsement is extra, and you can see that it just requires a little bit more. I'm gonna turn it over now to Ms. Morgan, and she will talk about 2 more endorsements.
Okay, so the next endorsement we're gonna talk about is the academic, and it's on that sheet of paper as well that Mr. Langley gave you when you came in, and just in case you can't see it very well on the screen. So the academic is similar to the CTE and overall how many credits that your student has to earn, which is a total of 26. So with the academic, if you look, you still have to have 4 Englishes, you have to have 4 maths. But if you look out to the side, that's where it gets a little different, because they start putting different requirements on the subject. So when you wanted a traditional diploma, it just said 4 math with the specification of algebra 1, and then there was nothing else. And you could do the other 3, whatever 3 you wanted. Well, this one says you have to have algebra 1 because it's state tested, plus 2 additional math courses that are above. So that means the student would have to take geometry and algebra 2. So if a student is wanting to go through with the academic endorsement, they're gonna have to take geometry and algebra 2. If you go to science, still 3, but they also have the additional requirement, biology plus 2 additional science courses that are above biology. Whereas on the traditional, it did not have that specification out beside it. Social studies is still 3.5, the exact same 3 requirements that it was before. Everything else is still the same until you get down to where it says electives. Now with the electives, instead of having 5.5, you have to have 7.5. Now, if you go over to the other side where it says additional requirements, this is where they start putting the GPA requirements in as well, just like they did with the CTE. You have to earn an overall GPA of a 2.5. The students had to have at least 2 additional elective courses that meet the IHL requirements. So IHL stands for Institute for Higher Learning. So basically that is standards that are set for students to be able to go straight to a senior college or university, right? And what we will do is when we sit down to look with students to make sure that they are on track, we will double check and make sure that they are taking the courses that they need. If they are planning to go straight to Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Southern Miss, wherever they're planning to go, we're going to make sure that they are taking the courses that they need to take to be able to go straight there. They also have to meet ACT requirements with the academic endorsement. If you look, they have to have at least a 17 in English. It can be way higher than that, but they have to at least have a 17, and they have to at least have a 19 in math. And then they also, at the bottom, the only option that we have right now that is offered to our students is they have to take at least 1 dual credit course and make a C or higher in that course. All right, and then the last option, which is the highest option that a student can go for, is the Distinguished Academic Endorsement. And if you look, this one has a total of 28 credits. Now they can graduate with way more. We have some seniors right now that are way in the 30s with their credits, but this is just the minimum required for this one. So math, same thing, 4 credits, algebra 1 with 2 additional courses that are above it. Science is where it gets different, where it was 3 before, now you have to have 4. It's biology with 2 additional science courses above biology. Social studies, where it was 3.5, now you have to have 4. They're making them get an additional half of a social studies. And then you come all the way down to the electives, and now they have to have 8 instead of 7.5. If you go over to the additional requirements, they have to have an overall GPA of a 3.0 instead of a 2.5. They have to have 2 additional electives that meet the IHL curriculum. They also have to have taken at least 1 dual credit course and made a B or higher. And I will say with our students that are coming in, if they are planning on graduating with honors, so this is something to go ahead and start thinking about. If they are planning on graduating with honors, they have to be on this path, the distinguished academic. It is in our handbook that any student that is planning on graduating with honors by the third 9 weeks of their senior year, they have to be on the distinguished academic endorsement. They have to have a 3.5 GPA. Oh, and I forgot the ACT requirements on this one. It's an 18 in English and it goes up to a 22 in math. Okay, so
Alright, so before we kind of walk away from these screens here, I want to make it abundantly clear. Parents, we're not going to not let your child graduate from high school, right? So say your child is, I'm going for this distinguished academic endorsement option. And we get to February of 2027. And your child has taken the ACT 9 times, okay? And they've got a 26 overall, but for some strange, crazy reason, they've only got a 17 in English, okay, in their sub-score. They meet all of this, they meet all of these other requirements, except that ACT sub-score. Just because they don't meet that sub-score does not mean your child's not gonna graduate. Okay, it just means they're not tacking on that endorsement. Okay, your child is still gonna walk across the stage for graduation. Okay, and we have these two, they start conversations with your students now. And we'll continue those conversations over the next 4 years. Okay, it is our job and our privilege and pleasure to walk you through all of this. And we would be failing you and our students if we did. Okay, so we beg, there's 4 of us here. Ms. Hobson's a former counselor here at the high school, 2 counselors here, and even though I am a principal, I dealt with graduation for the last 12 years as a principal. So we are here to help. No 2 students have the same question all the time, okay? Just because you sit next to your buddy in English doesn't mean you and he or you and she are gonna do the exact same thing, okay? So please, I know this is a lot of information. We know it is. There's gonna be a pop quiz tomorrow in Coach Jackson's class, students. Not really. I will test my wife later. We don't expect you to know everything about this tonight. This is a really quick review and oversight for everybody. But please do ask us a question. We'll stick around as long as we need to, you know, within reason, on a Monday night, you know. So please, if there's anybody that's got one, Larry, that wants to ask in front of everybody, then we'll go ahead and take questions.
So a student with a traditional diploma, you said earlier that they had to have an academic diploma to get into the senior school. So with a traditional diploma, they only have to do.
yes.
At the top, it's in both land and tennis, and is it possible, like, using advanced math, so he's already got algebra and eighth grader, you know, right now, of course, we're complete algebra and everything, so is it possible for him to, if we went with the distinguished academic endorsement as well as trying to do honors, would it be possible class-wise for him to go all the way through a senior year without having to take an online course in order to meet all the classes that we ask them to have. To get that endorsement.
Potentially, yes. That would be more of a situation where one of the two of them, myself, you, your student, let's all sit down at a table and kind of map out exactly what your kid needs, because that, in your mind, that's the most important. And in ours, that's the same thing. So, yeah, we would, it's potential, can't guarantee it, but we could certainly look at that possibility. Yes, sir, absolutely. All right, so we're, the four of us, we're gonna spread out up front, to answer any questions that you've got. Parents, thank you so much for your time tonight. We did video this and record it, so we will push it out through social media. So students, finish up the 8th grade strong. We'll see you in August. Thank you all.